fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back, Star Trek fans, and I want to talk today for you Star Trek Fleet Commanders about this. Yeah, see all the numbers? Power destroyed, assessment. Where do you rank amongst everybody? In fact, it's easy to see where you rank on your own server. Kind of a little embarrassing for me because I'm not even in the top 200. But even without being in the top 200, I'd still be curious, where do I fall amongst everybody in the game that's an active player that's around here just doing all the things? Or even where do I rank in power destroyed? Which, by the way, server 20 has a new power destroyed leader in Stone. I wonder if IA is going to try to take back that #1 spot. But point being, where do players rank? And that's where we're getting into today, because we're going to talk about a new tool. I love to give highlights to other tools that are out there working, and we've had some great ones in the past few months. Most recently, we talked about Sposh Club and their latest sync tool, where you can see all your researches, everything in game, and calculate update costs, as well as look at battle logs, things like that. Well, this one is focused on those big numbers, as in where do we rank as players amongst each other, amongst our peers. And to me, this is something that, one, we should have been able to do for forever, but it also gives you a good idea of like, hey, how strong am I compared to others who are doing the events? And when the XSLBs come around, maybe I can look at and see how strong are those players that I'm gonna be facing. Well, you have a tool that you can do this with now, and don't laugh at the name because it's a real thing, but STFC.wtf. So this was created by somebody who's been playing this game for a long time. Shout out to Mendd, and is a regular here in our channel, in our Discord, and etc. etc. So in this case, you'll see the top power in the game, currently Wagyu. Now, Huck was the first one to hit 600 million, but he's currently down here. So real quick note that this is not pulling information like every minute. I think it's once every hour and once every 90 minutes for Alliance information, but he can come in and correct me where I'm wrong, because I could be slightly wrong on that. But the point being, it's not something that's going to pull all the time, right? It's going to pull when it pulls, and you'll be grateful, damn it. You'll be very happy for when you get the pulls. I'm just kidding. But seriously, as a tool, I think it's extremely useful. So I could see right now, if I just look up Rev Deuce, I know that I'm ranked 12,507 in the game just by overall power, which is interesting. But then what if we change it up? What if I exit out of that and I decide I want to know how I rank amongst all 46s? So I actually would just click level right here, let it go through its mathematical dealings. And then I'm going to type in my name and see if we can get it. Okay, cool. An error. That's great. Well, I didn't say it was perfect. There, it came up correctly that time. I didn't say it was perfect. But anyway, you can see that it actually, in terms of 46s, I'm the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I'm the 20th strongest level 46 in the entire game. And for those curious how many level 46s there are, I think there's a few thousand last time I took a look at them. So anyway, immediately seeing, oh gosh, this is embarrassing. I had an error code, but you know what? This is a one-person project doing something amazing. But anyway, it's where I would rank here. But where would I stand? And what I personally like to do is compare maybe where I am in power overall, which was 12,000. But how about I go take a look at something like power destroyed, right? That's something that if I'm above my rank personally in power destroyed, here I am at 8,521. If I'm above my rank there, then I think I'm probably doing better than the curve, right? Or let's take a look at resources rated. Is it the same thing with that? Where do I raid there? Shout out to June Bree, by the way, who's number 2 in resources rated. Well, I'm actually in the 2,500s in resources rated, which I think that's fantastic. So obviously as a pirate, I'm in the upper tier of pirates, but I'm nowhere near the top because I need to be in the top 100 of that one. Need to make that happen. Then, for those who remember, a few weeks ago, we talked about assessment ranks, and we had talked about Captain Anders being the first person to complete it. Well, there have now been congratulations to Huckster, Wagyu, Blue Plague, Big Dog, and Panda Pirate, who have now completed it themselves. So that's, again, we get to see some of this and see how players are progressing. And then, of course, you get to one of my favorites is alliances, where you can see that my main alliance on server 20 is rank 2 in overall power. But and I remember showing this to a couple of the IA people weeks ago, and the first thought was, okay, how do we work to overtake dragons at some point over there on server 16? So overall, I think that this has a lot of neat applications that it can be used for players individually in terms of growth and also just getting an idea of where you're at or where you want to be. And I always try to kind of emphasize that point, because this game, I don't think always is the best with communicating anything. But more than just communicating in general, I think what the game could do better is letting you know where you stand amongst other players. Like I said, there are about 7,000, I think it's 6,800 level 46s in the game. Well, I think it's really neat to know that I've worked really hard and that I can go and see that, well, amongst those, I'm 20th overall in power. So sure, I'm not the strongest 46 in the game, but if I know that there's, 7,000 accounts, that are active there, and then I can go and say, hey, where do I fall? And shout out, by the way, to Corgano and Crashly, who are at 87 and 85 million, and I'm over here like right at 80 million going, holy crap. Congrats to those. But isn't that kind of cool? And it sets goals, I think, for me. And again, I've talked about Star Trek Fleet Command as a game, I have felt in recent years has gotten better by stretching out horizontally. What I mean by that is the whole idea of getting better in the game for a long time has been upgrading ops, right? Like, get to the highest level you can. But I think the more as the game adds depth, where there's specialty ships, armada types, new officers, it's definitely been better to spread out horizontally than just straight vertically. So now it's more important about, you really know you're a good player if you're good for where you're at. And this is the type of tool that you can see to know that's true. So, I mean, I'll be honest, being top 20 at level 46, granted I have officially hit the button to go to 47, but it still has 302 days before that happens. I wonder how high I can actually get on the totem pole there. And I just think that it's really neat to see these type of tools. So again, shout out to the creators of this site for making it happen. And remind y'all what it is. It's STFC.wtf. Type that in and you'll be brought to the power leaderboard, and you can kind of go through some of the other things. And for those curious, this is actually the tool that we are using to, when we did the incursions versus incursions. Remember that one that Jules brought up? A lot of the things that we're doing to pull where players are in terms of accounts and demographics is from stuff like this. And I think lots of great utilities, like I said before. But anyway, if you want to see where you line up with everybody else, right here, see where you are in power, resources rated, power destroyed, where you're even at in assessments, which honestly, I'm curious because I have never looked up myself in assessments, and I am, well, I have another error, or did not load that far back because I'm nowhere near the top in assessments. I'll worry about that later. But anyway, cool tools like this, check it out. I encourage you to. Maybe I'll just go ahead and drop the link in the comment if y'all are having struggles finding it, but it's literally just STFC.wtf. This is what we've been using for months to tell you where you're at, and now you can use it yourself. It is live, ready to go, has its own Discord, or you can hit up Mendd or any of the helpers in my Discord, and we're more than happy to give you what you need. That's what we're here for. So hopefully you're enjoying this week. A lot of events. We did get that event fixed again. Shout out to the Arc Runner for, hearing me out early this morning. For those that remember, we ran the same event last month, but we had to get it worked around a little bit. They did go ahead and re-add this in. So if you missed it earlier, we did talk to the Arc Runner. Arc Runner was kind enough to fix it. So big props and shout outs to them. Thank you, because that would have been impossible for most players without that hostile set getting added in. But anyway, there's the tool. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about the tool, you can hit me up on Discord, but also feel free to comment in the comment section down below. Now you can know how strong you are in Star Trek Fleet Command and where you rank. And I especially love the idea of finding out where you are amongst your peers. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video and videos for Star Trek Infinite, etc. in general, because we're doing all of it now.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.